What is up, everybody? In this video, I just want to talk about two characters that come to mind when I think of the Black Swordsman. Well, three, you could say, probably like Afro Samurai, but we're going to be talking about Kirito and Guts. And I already know what you're thinking. Why are you even talking about this? Why is this even an argument in the first place? We're literally arguing about Kirito from Sword Art Online and Guts. And it's not so much as an argument per se. I just wanted to talk about both of them as characters in their own shows. Now, I haven't watched the movies for Berserk. I haven't watched those 3 movies or whatever. And I watched the 90s show a really long time ago, but I only read the manga for Berserk. And I watched the show for Sword Art Online, but Sword Art Online, I feel like it does take a dip in quality later. But Season 1 Kirito, that's where when I think of Kirito, I always think of Season 1. And Guts, I don't think of a specific arc with that guy. But I know a lot of people think of like Golden Age or like even the first Black Swordsman arc, but I think of kind of most of it because Kirito changes so much over the course of his entire show. I think that's the thing that both characters do pretty cool. I feel like Guts obviously does that better to me. Some may argue that, oh, well, it changes in a bad way with Guts, and just because the tone of Berserk kind of does change a bit compared to earlier Berserk. But I don't think that's bad, because for one, I still think Berserk does have, even in the newer arcs, it still is pretty bad, man. There's still bad stuff happening. It's not just, sunshine and rainbows. But with Sword Art Online, it gets pretty dark too. Like, I'm not gonna downplay it. I wouldn't say it's like Berserk dark, where it's like, oh my god, this is just diabolical. This is what stops people from reading it, because some people just, which is respect, that's fine, if you don't want to read Berserk because it's too much and it's too weird and it's very inappropriate, you don't gotta read it. No one's forcing you to read it. You don't have to read it. And Sword Art Online, I feel like, is, I wouldn't, maybe you could be like, oh, Sword Art Online is too much, but, I wouldn't say it's like, come on, man, you can handle Sword Art Online. It does get dark, but it's never too dark, as in, wow, this is crazy. Even though I'm not gonna doubt, some weird stuff happens in Sword Art, but it's not, I don't think it's ever Berserk levels. And Berserk is just much more graphic and very explicit. They show a lot of it, man. Donovan, come on, man. There's so much that just happens in Berserk compared to Sword Art. And that doesn't just automatically make it better because it steps over the line. It goes way over, so it's better. It's more real. That's not what I'm saying, because I don't think that's like saying, oh, well, the Boys comic, not the show, only the comic, where they're just doing shock value just for the sake of shock value makes it good, which is not the case. That comic is ass. It's bad, and to me at least. And the shock value just doesn't save it. It's just not good. And I know Berserk also does have controversy, just like Sword Art, where Sword Art has kind of controversy is in oh, well, people just arguing if Kirito's a bad character or if the show is bad or if he's good, because there's the Kirito meat writers and there's, the Kirito haters. There's the Reverse Flash Kirito people, and I wouldn't say, at least my opinion on it, I wouldn't say he's bad, but I wouldn't say he's great. I think he's okay. He's alright. With Guts and Berserk and their controversy, it's more about misogyny and people thinking, which to me is just like, man, you can have your opinion on the matter and all this, but like women, just only women, like, yes, bad stuff do happen to them all the time, and which is just the case in real life as well, whether you like to admit it or not. I don't think Berserk is trying to sugarcoat life, because it's just a fact in real life. I don't think Berserk is like, the author is actually a sexist, but in real life, that stuff just happens. It just happens because that's just the world. The world of Berserk is worse, if not just, it's just worse than the life we live in now. And the life we live in now already, like, is hard for a lot of people, women as well, and saying, well, yeah, it's sexist. I guess, yeah, sure it is, but not in the way you're thinking of, like, oh, well, they just hate women just to hate women, or just this and that. Bad things happen to women in the manga just like bad things happen to them in real life, and that's not saying bad things don't happen to, like, oh, stuff never happens to men or anything. Like, Guts was literally, as a child, man, you see bad stuff happen to both. Yes, it does happen to women more, but that's just because I think it's just trying to reflect on life in general. But even then, that's just a deeper rabbit hole, man. I would make a separate video on that entirely, because it's such a, like, a tender subject for a lot of things. And I don't want to offend anyone or, be a dick to anyone or anything like that. I'm not trying to, like, shame people for hating it, because you can hate it, you can hate Berserk, you can not like it, you can hate Sword Art Online and not like it, because I respect your opinion, but to me, at least, I just don't see it that way. And Sword Art Online's controversy is just so much different than Berserk's, at least to me, even though, I'm pretty sure Asuna almost gets in that run as well, which is just, pretty diabolical, but it's not as downright just disgusting like Berserk, because Berserk just has so much more worse things than that. But back to Kirito and Guts as characters, because I feel like they're very different, and one thing I think that holds Sword Art back is sometimes Kirito. I think, sure, he may be fine as a self-insert, like, you can just maybe portray yourself as that guy and be like, oh yeah, he's cool, he's a badass, like, sure, maybe you can do that. I don't think you can do that with Guts, because, I'm not him, bro. He's built different. I'm not him. Kirito, yeah, sure, is built different, but, like, I think you can picture yourself more as Kirito than Guts. And that's fine. That doesn't make Kirito a bad character, but sometimes it kind of gets lame and annoying when certain characters are OP and just not portrayed in a good light like that. Because I don't think Saitama's a bad character because he's OP. I think he's a cool, funny character. And Kirito, I don't know, man, because to a certain, like, Guts is pretty OP. That's not to say he wins, like, oh yeah, he's just unstoppable. Like Kirito over here just getting literally hit and just being like, you guys are so low level that it doesn't even matter. Like, Kirito had a step up from the beginning. He was a beta tester. He was a beater. He was a beater. So, he already kind of had a step up, I feel like, in that regard, and Guts didn't. Guts struggled as a kid, had to be saved by his guardian, quote-unquote guardian there, multiple times, and, even when he wins fights, sometimes his fights do go pretty, like, oh yeah, he just kind of beat this guy. A lot of the time he is struggling and damn near dying, especially because of the armor too, which is just, there's just so much layers with Guts in his fights too, compared to Kirito, at least in my opinion. And I do think people hate on Kirito a bit much. Like, yeah, he can be a bro sometimes, but I don't think he's the worst protagonist of all time. He's not garbage. He's not trash. I think he does do some pretty good things as a protagonist, at least. I like seeing his growth and maturity, and I do like seeing... I like seeing him struggle. Like, I did like seeing, you know, yeah, it was cliche, but, like, to me at least, just because something is cliche doesn't mean it's bad. If you execute it well, I think it's fine. And yeah, seeing Kirito's, like, friends or whatever die, and it take a toll on him, yeah, it was oh yeah, it was really cliche, but man, I like Dragon Ball, okay? I like Dragon Ball. I like cliche when it's done good. You know, Dragon Ball is very cliche, but I also like the goofy, crazy, stinky, what the hell am I watching kind of stuff like JoJo, where it's so bizarre and different. But even then, JoJo can be cliche too sometimes. But if it's executed well, then I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with, yeah, it's cliche and it's so predictable. Like, come on, man. I like Spider-Man and like what come on, predictable. Like, I'm fine with this if it's done in a good way. And I feel like Sword Art Online doesn't do Kirito's cope in a bad way. I don't think it's nearly anywhere close to or on par with Guts' copium, but it is just not that bad when you compare it to some other bruh things. But as a character, at least, I don't think Kirito is bad. Out of 10, I can give Kirito 5 being average, right? I say Kirito is like 5.5, 6 maybe. Probably 6 if I'm generous. I don't think he's that bad. I think he's a little better than average maybe, or maybe just about it. I don't think he's that bad. He doesn't deserve all the hate. And Guts as a character, man, why? Just probably like a 9. Like a 9.5 maybe. I think Guts is just an amazing character with amazing growth, and so I think if you can, like, if you don't mind, say like you want to watch like The Boys or like Invincible or something like that, if you can handle something like that, you know, maybe dip your toes into Berserk and read a little bit of it. If you don't think this is for you and you just don't want to read, you know, this is just too, you know, this makes me too uncomfortable. I don't like, if you don't like feeling like that, put it down. You don't gotta read it, but I would at least, you know, give it a try, man. Give both of these a try. Form your own opinions on this, because I think both of these are good in different ways, and, you know, everyone should have their own opinion on their own voice. So you guys let me know down in the comments down below what you think about these two characters and your opinions on my opinion. But that's going to be it for this video, you guys. Hope you all enjoyed this one. Peace. Now